Hello everyone, this is Wasif. Just wanted to make this video about the issue that I faced recently. Um, One of the things a lot of people don't realize when they sell a car is that cars are not um, like small items like computers or TVs or even phones. Maybe phones are a little bit far out, but generally cars are tracked. They have a VIN number on each car and they're registered to a different owner. So when you sell a car, you are uh, you're responsible for it in every way. So I recently sold a car, and I told um, the buyer that I just registered it and everything, and he was like, sure. He came in, drove it, and then he paid me, and I took a picture of his driver license. Uh I took a I had him sign the bill of sale, dated, his address, phone number, um how much I sold it for, and then I also had uh as his document signed. I worked at a dealership, so I knew the main documents that, and I did understand the um, liability aspect of it. So I did what I should. Not all because of the pandemic. Um, DMV was closed, so I couldn't just go in there and they don't answer the phone. So, um, other than what I did, I couldn't do really anything else. I couldn't just go in DMV or call them and tell them that I sold a car. So I let it slide. And then I got a note from a towing company that told me that, boss, if your car has been towed, they had my information, of course, because the car was still registered under my name. Um, and I haven't told um, DMV that that's car been sold. So I realized, well, that's strange. I thought, things happen maybe because he was trying to register it, and maybe because, who would pay money for a car and not register it? This doesn't makes any sense. So I called him and I had his phone number, of course. So he pretended to not know what's going on. How could you not wonder where your car is if it's towed and anything? And he said, yeah, he's gonna go check it out. And I said, well, I got the note. You need to go get your car, because every day the towing company is charging you a storage fee, and of course they're charging you towing fee, so you need to get that car out. And I got the notice. I was being good person, and I will inform that buyer that, they sent me a notice. I didn't even know if he was aware of that car, what happened to the car. So he said, oh, he's gonna get it. I said, okay. A few weeks, but as soon as I did that, and I realized that I need to report it to DMV that this car is sold. So I went on the website and I looked around and I found a section where you can actually do that. It wasn't the easiest way to find. It was just should be the main page, but it wasn't. Then I would after going through multiple pages, the DMV website is not the best. For people who don't live in US, DMV is Department of Motor Vehicles, and every state has its own DMV, and and they run DMV differently. Like Washington State, where he was from, is a different DMV, and I don't think they talk to DMV between each state talk as good as within the state. So anyway, so he was from Washington, and I knew that because I had his driver license. So I reported it. I got the towing notice written on 12:30, and I believe I got it on January 2nd or something, because Washington is next door. So, I mean, it's a bordering state to Oregon. So anyway, I got that letter and I reported to DMV, and then I thought, well, okay, that's it, done. He's gonna get the car, and I'm out of it. I was never into it because I already sold the car. Then I got a second notice saying that you haven't you owe this much money. This is the notice to please, you are paying for fees, and you need to take it. I said, okay, maybe he didn't want to pay, or he didn't have the money and he just abandoned the car. But again, I reported it and I'm done. I'm out of it. Then I recently got a final notice saying that they're going to send the bill to collection, and I owe $1,240 for storage and abandoned fee and all this stuff, and they're threatening me with a collection. And I said, what's going on? Now, remind you, I tried to contact, they gave me the phone number, and I contact, nobody picked up. Must be the timing, and I left them a message, but nobody called me back either. So this time I also did that again, called and left a message, no response. Then I went online and I looked into the legal ramification. Like, are they even making any sense that they're gonna charge me for collection? First, they took my car. So the car already sold, which I have no vested interest in, and now they are threatening me with the collection, and I have to pay for something that I don't own anymore. So I went online and I was like checking, and then this guy was telling about his story that his son had a car that was towed and he didn't respond, and now he's stuck with a collection bill. And then there was another guy who said he sold a car or traded in a car to a dealership, and it was towed, and then he got the letter. And when he contacted the dealership said it's not their responsibility to report it to DMV, it's his. And because he didn't respond, reported it to DMV, now he's liable. And this is what I read on the forum. This is what the guys were saying, and I said, wow, that is something new. I didn't know. I mean, I've been in car business and I still didn't know. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do about this? Of course, I can, there's no point in reaching out to that guy, because if he's legally not in a bind because of the fact that I'm still liable for it. So anyway, I dug through the documents. I found all those paperwork, that bill of sale, the assets document, his driver license and all that stuff. And I then basically had those documents together, and next day I called in the morning and I was telling the lady in the towing company that this is what's going on. And she was like, that means she didn't believe anything I said. And then I said, well, I have all the documents and they're dated and signed, and I have reported DMV. And then all of a sudden she just like woke up and she said, oh yeah, you should disregard all those documents. Yeah, you're not on the hook. We will put that on our file that you don't have to worry about it. I said, really? Yeah, you're good, you're fine. Those are just standard documents that we send to everybody. Oh, okay. So the moral of the story is, when you do sell a car, keep all the documentation. Don't just assume that the buyer is going to is going to transfer the title to their name. Okay. If that car is involved in any kind of incident and you don't have the document, you're not protected. That much I understood because I was in a car business. And I didn't understand my legal obligation in this was there because I'm supposed to report it. But because of the pandemic, DMV was closed. I didn't know how to report it at that time. And when I got the notice, I did find out a way to do it and I did report it. But the towing company got rid of the car. He never picked it up. And now I was going to be stuck with a bill. But once I told them that I have all the documentation, they realized that they're not going to win this case against me. So they're not going to get the money from me. So they just closed it conveniently, the file. So she realized that once the seller has all the documentation, dated, signed, and all the stuff, bill of sale, he's off the hook. So they're looking for people who don't get all the documentation and they sell the car, and then they're still on the hook. So you gotta be careful when you're selling your car to someone. You need to report it to DMV right away, and because if they did something bad, like say they hit somebody, and then you are still liable. I mean, I'm pretty sure even not only that, your insurance will be involved in that too. It's not good for you in any way. So when you're selling car, be very careful. Get all the information from the buyer, have the signed and report it to DMV, and you should be able to report it. Different DMVs are different. Like different state have different type of websites and DMV setups, but you still should be able to get them reported when you sell a car, and it's very important that you do that. Otherwise, you could be in big trouble. I mean, they can ruin your credit by going to collection. You will be liable for the towing, the storage fee. You'll also be liable if there is any criminal activity done with your car, okay? Because police will know who the new buyer. They will know you. Now, if in case you didn't have the new buyer's information, that's a big issue too, because they're going to come after you, okay? Because they're going to ask you, okay, so you sold it, so where is the paperwork? And now if you don't have the paperwork, not only you're going to owe all that stuff because you don't have any information from the buyer could just walk away from whatever that happened. So if they hit somebody and ran, or they parked it in a space and then they're getting tickets and stuff like that, all those things are going to be coming to you, not to them, because they never registered the car. And some people are like that. I had this similar situation happen to me a long time ago, and I didn't think big of it because it was a long time ago, and it was my coworker. So I had an old Honda CM400 motorcycle, my first motorcycle that I bought. I learned everything on it, and I was riding it to work every day because it was efficient and convenient. And my coworker wanted to purchase it because I told him I'm interested in selling it. So he said, I will buy it from you. I said, okay. I mean, coworker, he lived really close by and he bought it. I don't think I got any information from him. He just like, maybe I got it as a document, but I sold it to him. And then I got a letter from DMV saying that your motorcycle has been towed. You need to pay for towing charges, and you need to pay for similar to what happened now. And I got a phone. I called the towing company and I told them that like I sold a car, and that time they responded right away. So I was like able to get hold of them, and they said, "Oh, okay." And then they basically, I never heard of anything from them afterwards. But that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too concerned about this. But they didn't go as far as like threatening me to go to collection, because apparently I explained to them what happened. Now the funny thing about this was that I got the call from my coworker, and he called me and he asked me and said, actually maybe I called him and I told him, and he asked me, Did you get the motorcycle back from them? I said, why would I? I mean, it's your job. You were the one who paid for it. You're supposed to get it. So he never got it. I don't know what the. I mean, I gave him a title and everything, so he could go to the tow trucking company and get the motorcycle out of there. But apparently, he didn't want to pay. But he was assuming I'm going to get it. And remind you, that motorcycle wasn't that much. It was like $400 motorcycle. So I sold it to him for $400. So, and it was valid registration. So he was riding it with that registration. And he never registered it because I believe he didn't have a motorcycle endorsement. I don't know if you cannot or cannot, but anyway, whatever his thing was. But yeah, you gotta protect yourself. It doesn't matter. You could be on hook for more than what the vehicle you sold it is worth for. So if it's like a $200, $300 car, you sold it, happy that it's done. No, if you didn't report it and the new buyer didn't register it and they did something bad, like parked it illegally, abandoned it, hit somebody, all those things, they're gonna trace it back to you. So you got to be very careful with that when you sell a car. So generally, I mean, this doesn't happen with the more expensive cars because the buyer has more to lose. This generally happens with the inexpensive cars more, like the cars that are, like, for example, registration is $200 to $300, and the car is like $300, then it's more likely to happen. Or if a car is $1,000, then this is more likely to happen. So be careful when you sell something like that, and protect yourself, and keep all the paperwork, and of course report the DMV. This is my 2 cents that I wanted to tell you about, and I was very scared when I got that collection notice because I didn't want to ruin my credit. And when I found the information on the forum, which was telling me that I am liable for all this, it's quite scary. But because I did everything right, I got all the paperwork and everything, and I was not in trouble for that. I didn't owe more than what I got for the car. So that is a very good lesson for me and you and everybody who sells cars. And even with the dealership, it doesn't matter if you trade in your car, you are liable to report it. That's something I did not know. And I worked in a dealership, but I never traded any car in a dealership either. I mean, personally, I've taken a lot of trades, but I didn't realize that the buyer, the buyer who trades in his car is liable to report it to DMV. Because generally dealerships don't abandon the cars. But if they sell it to somebody else and then they do the paperwork too, they send it to DMV, unless it's out of state. Like if you are Washington resident and you are buying car in Oregon and you're paying cash for it, then we just let the person take the car without going to the registration, and then they basically we did take the plates out, probably for the reason of liability, because if you take the plates out, then they're not going to come back to the previous owner, which was smart, but I didn't realize the reasoning for it. But that's what happened. Okay, so be careful, and happy selling. Bye. Oh, and please like, share, and subscribe my videos so I can make more videos like this for you, and it motivates me. Thank you. Bye.